You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the Fresh Takes
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Fresh Takes podcast. We're actually doing something different in this episode. We're going to try something new. We added 2 new segments to this week's episode and see if it's something you guys enjoy. If not, we'll go back to the how we've been doing it next week. But we'll go ahead. We're just going to jump right into it. The 1 o'clock games. First off,
You didn't
London.
even introduce us.
They know who you are by now.
Oh, come on. Pat, I'm glad that we have a co-host who really loves us enough to introduce us.
Some first-time viewer out there is just looking at us like, who are these guys?
Right?
Hey, if they're looking on YouTube, it says your guys' names.
That doesn't justify it, Tim.
Okay, I'm sorry. Joined alongside me are my 2 favorite co-hosts, Tank and Pat.
What's up?
All right, all is resolved.
All right, now we'll just jump
Do
into
not edit
it.
that out either.
A London game. Ravens beating the Titans 24-16.
Let's just say I feel Lamar is back to being Lamar.
I wouldn't say that.
Really?
Yeah. Lamar only had 223 yards, but like 1 touchdown. Usual Lamar is like 3 touchdowns with 1 rushing touchdown.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is he's back to, I feel like he's back in the zone. I don't feel like he's playing with a slump.
I think he's back
That's
in the
my
right
opinion.
headspace.
I feel like the whole team, well, they got there before the Titans, so that helps. The whole London thing kind of proven if you're there longer, you'll play better.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
but
went
a lot
like
better.
Tuesday, didn't they?
Yeah,
And Tennessee waited till Friday.
yeah. So that was an advantage. The Ravens just looked like they looked good, but also the Titans didn't look like anything. So
They just need. I think they need to figure out their quarterback. That's the problem.
I think it's time for them to pass along Ryan Tannehill. I don't think he's.
Well, I don't think Malik Willis is it either.
Oh, I don't. I definitely don't think it's Malik Willis.
I mean, is it time that they give Will Levis a chance? Freaking Mr.
Honestly,
Mayo boy.
yeah,
maybe. Honestly, I think the train that Ryan Tannehill had, I feel it's departed, and it is definitely time to let him catch that train and say "Hasta la vista."
Well, I guess we'll see whenever they come back with reports on his ankle or his knee, something like that.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his knee.
All right. Well, let's jump into another 24-16 game. Weird that it happened twice this week. Commanders finally stumping Desmond Ridder as the Commanders win 24-16 over the Falcons. Desmond Ridder is no longer undefeated at home.
Which, I mean, goes back. I think I said it last week. Washington loves killing streaks, and this is a streak that they got to kill.
I think he's now 33-1.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And also, that was a game I had on the way home from my market on Sunday, and was more listening along. But I did happen to see Coach Artie Smith's face when Ritter threw that interception in the 4th, and let me tell you, that's an all-time great one.
And I mean, last week, Tank, you and I were saying it's time to put Heineke in.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get why they don't see that Heineke is a way better quarterback than Ritter. Ritter's not the answer to that.
No.
No, and he might not be a better quarterback, but he will bring the juices, and people will play better. So,
Okay. I don't know. It's like where we talked about it like during the mid-season where Heineke is like the guy to go to during mid-season.
yeah, I think that's true. Like, I mean, they're still hovering at 3-3, so you bring him in, and if they like lose 2 more, maybe like say they win the next couple games and they're sitting at 5-3, like I say ride with Ritter. But
Who
if
who do they
they
got coming up? They got Buccaneers, Titans, and Vikings.
honestly 3 winnable games with I think the Falcons are a good team. Um
I feel like if they don't pass the Bucks, you kind of got to just try them for the Titans at that point.
yeah, because I mean honestly, I kind of think whoever wins the Falcons Bucks game next week might just pull away with that division from that moment. Like that might be what they need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I
because
don't
the
think
Saints
New
have
Orleans.
the Saints have kind of like fell back, and it's weird. After
Yeah,
Kamara came back, they kind of like took a step back.
yeah.
But I mean, let's
I
just go
actually
ahead
think
and jump into that game after you say what you were going to
I
say.
was going to say I have a feeling that like y'all were saying, with the Buccaneers and the Falcons, you think whoever wins next week's game, that they're going to take the division, and I have a feeling that it's going to be the Falcons, but that's just
Well,
me.
is it's the okay? So the Falcon. Oh no, they have the Saints the very last one. I was going to say, don't the Falcons play Buccaneers very last? But no, it's the Saints. But all right, speaking of the Saints lose to Houston 20-13. Houston now goes to 3-3, which I'm pretty sure we all projected them like 5 or 6 wins.
So
Looking
this is
squad.
what the third win in a row.
No, they lost last
Uh,
week.
Did they?
yeah, I
Yeah, they
think.
lost to the Falcons.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did. So okay, I thought
I
they won.
think they're going win, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. I think
Okay,
that's how they've been going so far because they lost to Jacksonville or the Colts or something like that, and then they won week 2. Then they lost, and then they beat the Steelers, and then they lost to the Falcons, and then they beat the Saints. So
yeah, lost
Houston's
to
on
the
a lose win lose win lose win season right now. They played the Ravens week 1. Oh no, they lost Ravens, lost Colts, beat Jaguars, beat Steelers, lost Falcons, beat Saints. Okay. But
yeah.
yeah, how are we feeling about the Saints? I mean, do you see Alvin Kamara getting a pep talk by Jameis Winston? He just didn't care.
His
yeah.
his face. Yeah.
I'm going to feed off of what you said earlier. I do feel that since Kamara's come back, the Saints haven't really done anything. In fact, I feel like I agree with you that they've taken a step back. Um, do you think it's coaching though, or do you think it's just the team morale, or what do you think it is?
I think the biggest thing is it's they threw Derek Carr in without him being ready because he had that shoulder injury. You should have just rode with Winston for a little. I think that's
And
the biggest problem.
how long is Carr out for?
He didn't take a game off. Remember, he got injured in
Oh
that
yeah, that's
Packers
right.
game and hurt his shoulder. He missed the
That's
rest
right.
of the game, but he came back and played the very next week.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, they killed the Patriots, but it's looking like at this point, any team can beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do want to say, Tank, you and I talked about it in last week's episode when Pat wasn't able to join us, that there was 2 quarterbacks who have not thrown an interception yet, and it was CJ Stroud and Brock Purdy, and you asked me who was going to throw one first. And I said CJ Stroud. Well, CJ Stroud threw an interception, and then like a quarter later, Brock Purdy threw an interception. So technically, I was right.
Yeah. Technically, you were.
So let's jump
Uh,
into that one. 49ers lose to the Browns 17-19.
so my question is, what happened? Like, I know that the offense is injured for
Say
the
they lost
49ers,
like 4 players.
and but like I just Brock was not Brock. He was definitely. I know the weather was a downfall for him, but at the same time, you can't fully blame the weather at all times.
As I've told you guys, 49ers suck.
All
The Browns are really good.
right, now let's jump over to our expert penalty analysis. The good old Pat.
Penalty Pat here.
Penalty Pat. What about that penalty on the 49ers? I can't remember who it was, but when he hit Elijah Moore And
the
they threw that
targeting
penalty
or
for
whatever.
targeting when he hit him in the shoulder.
Yeah, I think I don't remember that. That's not reviewable in the NFL, right? Like,
No.
yeah. So like, it's unfortunate because I think his stance kind of made it look like he like launched into him with his head. So like in a bang bang like how it was, I can understand how like a ref would be quick to be like, "Oh, that was definitely." But then when you look at it, you're like, "Oh, okay, that was just like a normal 2006 hit."
Especially because he
Like,
hit him in the shoulder and didn't even hit him in the helmet. So do you think
yeah.
something like that cost the Niners that game?
I mean, I won't say cost because they still had the chance there at the end to come
Yeah.
back and seal it.
Yeah.
That's what I
But
was gonna say. I wouldn't have said it cost them because they had an easy chip shot field goal.
yeah, I mean, a lot of other things the Browns did against their offense worked well. Obviously, it helps when Debo goes out early and then
Yeah.
McCaffrey goes
Caffrey
down in like the
later.
second quarter.
Now, and
But
I don't wish injury on anybody. I mean, it could be against the Philadelphia Eagles or the New York Giants. I don't wish injury on anybody, but you can clearly see that when a teammate goes down, the morale goes down for a team also.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, was that was the most rattled like Purdy looked too. Like that defense for the Browns, they are for real. Like,
I'd say
Which I got to
Miles
give Pat
Garrett.
credit. I got to give Pat credit. He did say that the Browns are going to look good this year, and I didn't believe him, but they do look like a good team. I don't think they're going to win the division.
I
I
think,
mean,
yeah, I think losing Chubb kind of shattered my full projections for them, but
I
they're
think if
still
they
all in
didn't
all
lose
good.
Chubb and if Watson didn't have this shoulder contusion or whatever that's going on, I think Browns probably could be close to
Oh yeah,
taking it.
100%. I agree.
But I
One
mean,
hundred
right now
percent.
the AFC North seems to be like the most competitive. The Bengals are turning it around. The Steelers somehow are pulling out wins, and the Ravens are looking very good, and they're starting to get healthy players back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that the AFC North is the most competitive, but I don't know if I can agree with you yet, Pat, that the Browns are taking it.
Well, if you're all done talking about that, let's get into another 1 o'clock game of the AFC
Let's
North,
see. Let's
which
do
was
the
the
other
Bengals.
AFC North one.
The Bengals beating the Seattle Seahawks 17-13.
How
Which
do we
And
feel about the Seahawks kind of choking at the last second?
well, I will say last second, I'll say the last 20 yards, they had 5 red zone trips with 0 points to show. They scored one out of six. Like
Which
that's rough.
I was watching the last like minute. They had a play where they put Kenneth on the right side of Gino. Literally no defenders at all in the secondary on the right side because they were all on the left side. And they audible Kenneth back to the left side. If you would have done a wheel route to Kenneth, he probably would have been into the end zone. But I think their problem is in the red zone, they're using Kenneth to block when he is not a good blocker.
no,
And you can see when Kenneth gets a ball, he at least runs through one or two players.
he's the. I want to say he was almost like a Marshawn Lynch.
I just don't think it's beefy, but yeah, he
No,
like
he's not as beefy.
runs through people. So why would you not have dumped it off on like second and goal to try and like force yourself up a little more?
I don't know, but um, what's your all thoughts about Burrow? Do you think he's back to being?
I don't know if I'd say Burrow's back yet. I mean, last week he looked good, but that was also against the Cardinals. But
Yeah.
this week I think both quarterbacks struggled against the defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they Bengals on bye this coming week?
Yes.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Burrows definitely was like on the trajectory he needed. After this bye, he should be back fully.
Well, they got some pretty big teams after that. They got Niners, Bill, Texans, Ravens, Steelers, Jaguars.
That sounds like the freaking Eagles schedule after week 10.
Yeah, so the Bengals have some pretty big teams that they're gonna have to play after bye. Luckily, they get their bye first, so that him and Higgins can both rest up, and Mixon can figure out how to actually start running. Orlando Brown went down in that game. So they definitely need the bye right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So all right, another 1:00. We have the Bears losing to the Vikings 19-13 to figure out who's the worst in that division.
Honestly, I thought I knew Detroit was going to be most likely 9 times out of 10 going to take that division, but I didn't think Minnesota would be this bad this year.
See, we all thought Minnesota was a wild card team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but is it? Did I see it right that Fields is out with an injury right now, or is he day
Fields
to
hurt his
day?
hand in that game, and they didn't say the severity of it, but
It's a dislocated thumb, and it comes down to if he's able to grip the ball enough, if he'll play. If
Yeah,
not,
So do
he'll
we
miss
get?
this week. But
So that means we'll get QB2, which is Tyson Badgett.
well, I don't think he's playing.
Oh, really?
Well, he did god awful in that game.
So who
when
do
he
you
came
who
in
are they
for
going to
the
start?
Say he went 10 for 14, 83 yards, and 1 interception.
oh,
I think it's time you call Nick Foles.
hey,
He knows the
bring him right on
system.
back. Yeah, bring him right on back.
Say he knows the system. You might as well be able to plug. They got Nathan Peterman. There you go.
I'm gonna say I thought they had him on the practice squad, but then cut him. But I guess he's still there.
He's there. Good old Nate Peterman.
Oh man, let's never see another snap from him.
How do we feel
So you
about Minnesota losing Jefferson?
you can tell when a key player goes down.
Yeah,
It's
they struggled in the past game, the first half.
I mean
Hawkinson didn't have a catch until like the 2-minute drill.
like you say with that, but Jefferson is honestly they're what they base their playbook around,
Their
honestly.
workhorse.
And when like you said, a workhorse goes down, it sucks, and you got to try to refigure out your whole playbook. And now I think that's what everybody's going to start noticing about Minnesota is they don't have a team without Jefferson.
Yeah, and they don't know what to do with their receiving core. I mean, KJ Osborne was okay, nothing spectacular. Jordan Addison got a touchdown, but
I
I
actually their third. I signed I signed KJ in our league, and then I signed Powell in the other league.
no, I have KJ on our league.
Oh, I signed KJ in my other league, Powell in my other league, and yeah, their third stringer did a little better than KJ, but that was just a desperate.
Yeah, I was not. I picked up KJ in hopes, but I assumed that Hawkinson was going to get most of the targets.
That's what I would
Yeah,
think.
But I feel like Cousins just was not doing good at all. But all
He
right,
won't be back.
Jacksonville versus the Colts. Jacksonville wins 37-20, but the Colts made a comeback in the second half.
Yeah, they did.
and
What's your all's thoughts about Minshew? I think
a lot of picks,
what's that?
a lot of picks.
3
He's
interceptions
not.
for 1 touchdown.
I don't think he's the same Gardner Minshew that we knew.
I don't know. He did good against the Ravens, but when he came into this one, he was meh. If
No,
he
I
can
think
get to
he
Michael
is.
Pittman, he's fine.
I think that Gardner Minshew is such a backup quarterback that he has to come in mid-game to perform well, not back up as in he'll start 2 weeks.
So
But
you think he needs to come in the middle of the game? He doesn't. He can't start.
yeah, like for some reason, like even again for Philly last year, the 2 games that Jalen was out as the starter, like he looked okay against the Cowboys in like a shootout.
I was going to say, don't disrespect him against the
But
Cowboys.
but then you look at that Saints game and
Well, didn't you
that's
guys also
pretty
not have
bad.
Lane Johnson at that point? Which
Well,
we'll
obviously,
get into.
evidently,
Say we'll
yeah.
get into that during the 4 o'clock games. But yeah, I don't know. I think as long as he can make it to Pittman, he's fine. Because the first half, Pittman had 1 catch, and the Colts weren't doing nothing. But then in the second half, Pittman got 8 more catches, and they drove down the field.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pat, you grabbed rookie Josh Downs in that game.
Yeah, I ended up catching a touchdown, luckily. Other than that, nothing.
I mean, he tends to get a lot of targets. He had 8 targets, but, he didn't catch all of them.
Yeah.
I think him and Pittman are like target machines.
Oh, I agree.
All right, so we got one more 1 o'clock game, and it was a game that everybody thought was about to be an upset as Carolina led 14-0, but then Miami comes back to win 42-21.
Yeah, how do you as a Miami team, how do you let one Carolina get up like that? And two, if you're Carolina, how do you let it? I mean, I know it's Miami, but how do you let them come back?
Listen, Miami doesn't want people to know what their team is about, so they're
Yeah.
allowing people to score so they can come back and do stuff.
Yeah, like
I mean, it could be.
also, you talked about like when your workhorse is down, you look different. Well, Miami's down a guy that's only touched the ball 40 times and has over 500 yards, and they're just plug and play. They have 6 superstars that anytime they touch the ball, they score, take it
Well,
for
not
50
even
like
that.
wow.
They had a running back who would get 40% of the snaps. So now Raheem Mostert, who gets 80% of the snaps, just picks up the 40%
Yeah.
that A-Chain lost.
Yeah, and
I think
he has
Mostert has
9
had
touchdowns already.
I think Mostert has had 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he has 9
I
on
think
the
so, yeah.
season. And
And
like,
I think they said him and Hill combined have 17 total.
yeah, that's
Isn't that ridiculous?
And Tyreek is 181 yards away from already having 1,000 receiving yards.
I can't wait until they play next Sunday night against the
Which,
Eagles.
so here's what I'm thinking too. If he wasn't benched at the end of the Broncos game, if he wasn't benched at the end of this game, and if they could figure out how to get rid of Buffalo, who has a terrible secondary, he would definitely be at 1,000 yards by now.
Yeah,
Oh, 100. Yes. I mean, so what do you think
Yeah.
he's going to finish with?
I think he hits the 2,000 mark this year.
he'll hit 2K. If
I
everything
say
like stays
I
like
say
this, like
21.
no major injuries, no missing a full game. Like
My biggest thing that I think is if Philly doesn't have Darius Slay next week, he is gonna go all over Philly secondary.
well, even if
Yes.
Philly does, like,
Wow. Slay's kind of slow now.
well, like the, with Hill, I mean, it's always a team effort. Like
Yeah.
you can't match anyone up 1-on-1 with Hill and expect them not to get burnt for like 3 touchdowns. So
Especially with Reed Blankenship also hurt.
Yeah.
as long as they somehow scheme to keep like the running and like small screen game intact, then the defense might have a chance. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now up is the new segment, Tanks That Catch, though. So go ahead and take it away, Tank.
Welcome to this week's episode of That Catch, though. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a newest segment that we're going to be debuting tonight, which is Tanks That Catch, though. So the 3 I'm going to nominate, and boys, you can, after I nominate them, you can tell me what your all's thoughts are. But the first one I'm going to nominate is the Michael Pittman Jr. one from Gardner Minshew.
Get a pick. Minshew to throw, puts him there under it near side. It's caught.
So the reason I chose this one is guy laid out for it. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful catch. It was. I don't want to say a perfect rainbow, but it was a rainbow over, and he laid out for it. It was marvelous. My second one, and the biggest reason why I like this one is because, well, it's Hill. He took off. He showed the Jets that he has, and he scored the touchdown for Miami. And then, not only on that, he does the celebration with the cell phone. Here's the video.
Each team 3 timeouts. Ahmed the back to a 3rd and 6. He's 12 of 16. Lamb, the block. Go, he's got him! He's got Hill! And they've got a touchdown! Oh, he smoked him! Woo!
Number three is none other than Pat's favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles. You got Jalen Hurts throwing the ball over to the sideline for A.J. Brown. And let me tell you, A.J. Brown catches a immaculate catch. Like, he kept his feet in, plus getting hit going out of bounds. And here's the video.
On you, and they add up. It makes it tough.
3rd and 6 from the 22. Hurts airing it deep for A.J. Brown, and Brown pulls it in. Did he get his feet in? He did! A teardrop from Jalen Hurts, and it lands in the gloved hands of A.J. Brown.
Ladies and gentlemen, you saw all three, and my winner of those three is none other than the Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown. Congratulations.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed that segment of Tanks That Catch, though. Congratulations to A.J. Brown for being the very first winner. We don't have a trophy for you, but congratulations. So,
Sorry, AJ.
since you want to talk about that game, let's just jump right into it. Eagles versus Jets. Jets come out on top, 20-14. How you feeling?
So now
Pat?
we have 0 teams undefeated.
How you feeling,
Oh,
Pat?
yeah.
Pat, or do you need to cry?
What? No, I wasn't expecting this to be like the wake up call game yet. Like I said, I was still holding true to my preseason prediction that Washington was going to give us that. But I mean, when you turn the ball over this much, and when Lane Johnson got hurt, I don't want that to be the full excuse, but the QB pressures definitely did increase once he went out.
Yeah, you can definitely tell with him giving up 0 sacks this year, him going down really affected it.
Yeah, and then they didn't. I mean, I know the Jets have a great defense, no doubt. Like the 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, they've held to like their worst performances in seasons. So,
well, I mean, Allen threw 3 interceptions, Hurts threw 3 interceptions.
Mahomes threw 2 and looked bad. Yeah, like they're making people look bad. I'm just confused why Philly didn't stick with what they've done every other game and just run. Like,
well, because they
getting
tried with Swift and
yardage.
he was doing nothing.
Well, in the front, but the thing with the Eagles is they don't give up. They keep doing it. And yesterday they abandoned the run pretty much at one point, and that's not playing to Hurts' strengths. So
I think Hurts might be trying to prove that he doesn't need the tush push to help the team. Because I feel like that with how much talk it's been getting the last like 2 weeks, the Eagles wanted to try and prove we don't need it. So, if you ban it, it don't matter. We can still win without it. And they tried it too much in that game.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple 3-and-1s that they should have just went for it.
Yeah.
But I think they hurt themselves.
My 2 biggest things that I one is a question and one is a takeaway. This is, I think, the 13th time the Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles have played each other, and this is the first time that the Jets have gotten a victory over Eagles. So, which kind of leads into my next question, is because the Dallas Cowboys beat the Jets. The Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Jets, but we lost to the Cardinals. Now, what loss do you think is more impactful to a team? The Jets losing to, or the Philadelphia losing to the Jets, or the Cowboys losing to the Cardinals?
Cowboys losing to the Cardinals.
Why?
Jets had a way better defense than the Cardinals, so it was predictable that the Jets could stop them.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat.
I also think the other thing is with how much the Jets were getting turnovers but not capitalizing, that shows you that the Eagles still were in it. Dallas was not in that Cardinals game to begin.
Yeah, I would say that too. Even with the loss, they gave up the touchdown at the end to kind of like try to get the ball back. So that was kind of a gimme, 6 points. But Yeah, even with that, like, what was Arizona's final score over Dallas? They had at least 28. I know.
It was
I don't.
20.
I think it was 28, like 16.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
And that,
28-16.
oh wow, that was just
Yeah.
a guess off the head.
There
But
you
I
go.
knew it was 28. I just couldn't remember what the
it
final
Yeah,
score
you
was.
but
know, it also didn't help that in the red zone, Dak threw an interception. Jalen, I don't think was ever in the in the red zone and threw an interception.
no, the two of the picks were the arm got hit, so it was a wobbler, bounced off Goddard, and then the one was just a really bad throw. He was
Yeah,
falling back and just made a terrible throw. But
yeah. So I
But
mean, Philly's offense really looked like they struggled that game. Devonta Smith had a bad game. Like he
yeah, he
dropped
did.
like 3 wide open passes.
yeah,
Which is not
and
usually, and it's not him to do that, I feel.
So
I
and
mean, everybody has a bad
I
game. Everybody has a
yeah,
bad game, but it you can tell that he just there was something not clicking well with him.
I'm glad that our bad game came against an AFC opponent for one, so an NFC opponent can't gain a win on us. And then also that is against what I think is like a worse team that we play, and they don't throw up a dud against the Chiefs or the Bills when they play them or something like that.
Makes sense.
well, not only that, it's also nice that the same week that the Niners go down, you guys happen to go
Yeah,
down as well. So it doesn't look like, oh, now the Niners could run away with the NFC because
Well,
they also went down.
we might have another team running away with the NFC though,
Yes, we might.
and that is the Motor City Dan Campbell led Detroit Lions.
Detroit beat the Buccaneers 20-6.
they
Just
they beat the
oh,
ears off of them.
they just owned. They are a team.
Yeah,
They're a
hey,
machine.
uh, isn't Mayfield? Isn't he out with an injury now?
Did he go down?
I'm pretty sure he did go down, and I want to say this is the week where a lot of QBs got injured.
There's bad QB play all around the league. And
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there were, I think, 4 injuries.
I want to say it was Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Justin
No,
Fields.
Baker never got taken out of the game, though. If he did get injured, he never got taken out.
The man himself.
And then
I'm trying to think if there was any quarterbacks that actually had a good game this week.
Good luck.
Tua
probably.
I would say
Yeah,
Tua is the only one.
watch,
Tua might
it's gonna be Dallas. Dak Prescott.
No. Jared Goff.
PJ
Goff had
Walker.
353 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Did you say PG Walker?
Yeah, with 2 interceptions.
Hey, he had a win against the Niners. Did you see how ecstatic he looked on the sideline?
Oh, of course.
But let's jump back into the Lions game real quick. Is it time for Gibbs now? Pat, you're all in on Gibbs. And, I mean, with David Montgomery going down, do you think Campbell finally allows Gibbs playing time?
I don't know if he's allowed to get more than 9 touches, so I don't know if he'd be a great feature back.
Well, the running back they had as like their third string, he also went down.
Was it Reynolds?
No,
No.
it wasn't Reynolds. It was somebody else. They put him on IR, but I
Okay.
don't remember who it was.
Yeah. So I would say Craig Reynolds. I think that's his name. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
Craig
of
Reynolds.
on that team. He'll. I don't know because I have no idea. I would think he's more suited. Gibbs will keep kind of the same role he's had, even though Montgomery's out, and Reynolds will get more
Yeah, if Gibbs is healthy again.
running back one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Gibbs' main thing is.
I think it's his ribs.